Today we're going to talk about the time that BMX almost killed me. And instead of sitting where our regularly scheduled shit show is, we're going to change the scene up a little bit. I don't know if you can hear any of that, but we're changing up the scene. I got a whiteboard full of shit to talk about, so let's get into it. I didn't want to do just another normal sit in that chair, talk about random shit. I thought we would, my salt lamp oozing? What the fuck is that? I thought we would have a little bit of a story time type thing, but I really don't like how this is set up, and I've never successfully shot in this apartment any other way besides there, so excuse me if I bounce around a little bit, but might as well do the intro here. Yes, product placement. Go pick up your merch. I've told this story briefly on a podcast, and in a podcast, it's raw, it's uncut. I can't think, I can't cut it up, I can't edit it. So some of you may know what I'm about to talk about, but I want to go a little bit more detail. By a little bit, I mean a shit ton more detail. You can't see it, but there's a lot of shit on here. And we're going to talk about the time that my bike, best friend, companion, money maker, tried to off me. But before we get into that, I've been talking about my dad's YouTube channel, right? I've been saying subscribe's got a lot of dope shit. Trying to get into 1,000. Once again, subscribe, and I've been saying like, oh yeah, I'll give you a shout out if you subscribe. I did the shout out. I've been talking about we're gonna do cash prize giveaways. We haven't done that yet. We're doing a 4-part DWI/DUI series. We're gonna get all 4 of those videos out this week, and then we're gonna announce a $50 Amazon gift card giveaway. So if you want to go ahead, subscribe to his channel down below, because that's gonna be the main point of the giveaway. And await further instructions anyway. Now that we've got the merch out of the way, after we've got the subtle podcast plug out of the way, and after we've got the up-and-coming dad's channel giveaway subscription fucking bullshit out of the way, let's get into the story, but I don't want to do it here. There's also 79 degrees in this goddamn apartment. I've had those doors open. It's a nice day, but shit. This is also serving as a way for me to kind of figure out other potential places I could film in this apartment, and I've confirmed that this is not one of them. So we're going to kind of do this a little bit more organized. I've got several parts here. So part 1 is we're going to set the scene. When and where the fuck did this shit show take place? This is a true story, pretty freaky, big moment in my life. Freaked my family out. Didn't really freak me out, as you'll see, because it kind of knocked me retarded. I was in 8th grade, so that was 5 years ago. I graduated last year. Quick maths, 5 years ago, 8th grade, I was in junior high. I don't know what part of the school year it was, doesn't really matter, but it was 8th grade. It was 2 days after Christmas. Okay, that actually tells you exactly when it was. So that means I would have been on Christmas break getting ready to go back to school. I remember the bike I was on. It was the Jake Seeley Broadcaster. I'll see if I could find a picture of it. It was a free coaster. It was my first legitimate BMX bike. I sold my really nice dirt bike that my parents got me a couple years before, and I used that money to buy my very first BMX bike. That's what started all of this. It was also at the Springfield Skatepark, my local skate park that I still go to today, on around a 6-foot quarter. I'll see if I can find a picture of it, and if I can, it's right here. That motherfucker is what took me out. So, moving on to part number 2. What did I remember? Or, what do I remember still to this day? From the accident, I don't remember much from that day, and it's caused really bad, kind of forgetfulness, memory loss. So things I remember about that day is I knew that the floors were really slick at the skate park. Me and my friend kind of airing these 2 little quarter pipes. We were going back and forth just like this, kind of, he would air that quarter, I would air this one. We were going in a circle. And I remember the floors were so slick. We both kind of slid out, just a little minor slide out. We weren't boosting it. This is 5 years ago. I don't even know if we were going above coping. Just kind of going up and down, and we both slide out, and we slide out on the bottom where it's concrete, and we slide up the wood a little bit. Minor little wipeout, I remember that, and it was just so weird because we both fell the same way at the same time. That was super fucking weird. I remember that. Second thing I remember from that day is there was a lot of people there, a lot of friends. It was really busy. So there was definitely an audience. Third thing I remember, on that Jake Seeley Broadcaster free coaster complete from 5 years ago, with that translucent black and the orange Sunday stickers. I remember the sprocket on that hoe. It was loose. It wasn't sitting on the spindle right. It was like a 19mm spindle and a 22mm sprocket or something like that. And it didn't have that little piece in between it. Something like that. I don't know if it was the bike's fault. I don't know if I threw on some aftermarket parts. I don't know. All I remember is my sprocket was loose and it was causing my bike to ride weird. Fourth thing I remember, it jumps from the memory of me fucking with my loose sprocket to the memory of me waking up kind of, I don't know if I woke up, but this is just my memory. I did get knocked out cold, but I had to have been awake a long time after this. I remember waking up or just remembering, felt like I opened my eyes, I was behind the front counter at the skate park in a gurney strapped in. Everybody was kind of chilling, and I remember locking eyes with my dad, black. Don't remember anything after that. Moving on, I'm gonna be a fucking cool guy. I feel like a bad guy in a movie. Moving on to part number 3. What actually happened? What went wrong? Actually, this part's really small, because I'll just do it right here. What happened is I went at the Springfield Skatepark. I went up that 6-foot quarter that hopefully I sent you a picture of. What am I fucking? That I showed you a picture of. I went up. Dusty floors, 6-foot quarter, went up, and I did a 540. And I nose dove, which makes sense once you hear the list of injuries that I got. And I don't remember the crash. That's what I told you. Did a 540, clearly fucked up somewhere, you nose dove. Foreshadowing into the things that I broke. Part 4, what I broke. I also popped a pimple right here, so it's like look like a Indian something. Anyway. Part whatever. So it wasn't too bad, but this is certainly the worst crash I've had. One of the only significant ones. Broke my nose. These fuckers, them 4 front teeth, knocked them hoes out of my mouth, but as I did whatever I did, they got stabbed back up into the roof of my mouth. So I knocked out all my 4 front teeth completely, and then they got reinserted somewhere in the roof of my mouth. Yeah, they are my real teeth. The funny thing is I had my braces off maybe a couple weeks before that, so had braces for 2-3 years. Get them off, immediately knock out my teeth. My teeth were super straight. They're still straight now. I took good care of them. They put it back well. But as you can see, my bottom teeth are another story. They used to be just perfect teeth. Then I had to go try a 540 when I was 12, 10 years old, whatever. And I didn't want to get braces again. And the retainers, they're weird vibes. I don't like the retainers. So my top teeth are fine. Bottom teeth are a little crooked. They're all totally real. I did have to get root canals because it was dead nerves, so it made my teeth look translucent. So I did a root canal, they filled it with fake nerves, and shit, I don't know, they look alright. I brushed my teeth, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. I also fractured my eye sockets, and I believe my jaw. I thought I broke my jaw. Maybe I broke my eye sockets and then fractured my jaw. These guys and this hoe, I don't really know exactly in what order. Maybe they were both fractured, maybe they're both broken. Memory loss, dog. This is kind of, fucking, I don't know. In the banger, a grade 3 concussion, which they said, I don't really know, like, how severe that is. I've heard of people getting concussions and being fine the next day, the next couple days, but I guess they said it was a pretty big deal, and that moves us on to part 5. What was the result of me sucking so bad I couldn't even do a fly-out 540? The result. So, the result of all of this was the doctor didn't let me ride my bike for 6 weeks. A lot of people as in my family thought, hey, he's probably never going to want to ride a bike again. It's probably traumatic. It'd be a big puss from now on. Bicycle PTSD. Here's a cassette hub, shits his pants on the spot. But, I mean, the reality is, either way, I couldn't ride for 6 weeks. For 1 to 2 weeks, I can't remember exactly, I had to stay in my room, in the dark, and I couldn't watch TV. And I remember the new Assassin's Creed, I must have gotten it for Christmas or whatever that year, whatever Assassin's Creed that was. And I would sit in my room, and I would put it on super low volume, and I would play Assassin's Creed. I hear my mom walking down the hallway, like, fuck, and I'd flip it off real quick. Because I wasn't supposed to be looking at any bright screen, I couldn't go to school. I mean, there was a little bit of Christmas break layover, but I remember going to school significantly later, and everybody being like, yo, what the fuck happened, dog? But yeah, 6 weeks no riding. 1 to 2 weeks, it's just isolation, sitting in my room, no loud noises, no playing video games, no nothing. And if I was allowed to play video games, it would be for like 15-minute intervals every other hour. I don't know. 5 years ago, and obviously I have memory loss now. That was the result. Moving on to part number 6. The only memories I have is I woke up in the middle of a hospital room. I say wake up. By wake up, that's my way of interpreting, like, my memories flashed in. This is where my memory flashes out. And I interpret it as waking up, experiencing it, and falling back asleep. I could have been awake this whole time. I could have been awake for hours. Fuck if I know. Anyway, I wake up, I look around, I'm in a hospital room. I hate needles. I hate anything. Like, shots is fine. I don't like giving blood. I don't like IVs. I wake up. I feel like shit. I look. First thing I realize, there's a plastic tube coming out of my arm. And it's like just a plastic tube coming out of my arm. There's like nothing attached to it. I was like, what the fuck is this doing here? So I remember that. I remember waking up, seeing an IV. And I remember looking at my parents. I remember my dad was sitting in a chair crying. And I remember my mom kind of comforting him. And, my dad's like me. One tough motherfucker, doesn't give a shit, really thick skin. It's really hard to make that man cry. It's really hard to get him upset and just kind of fuck with his vibe. It's really hard to do that. Really hard to break the Josh Roberts bubble. Another reason you should go subscribe to him. He's a savage just like me. Where do you think I get it from? Anyway, he was crying. So then I was like, son of a bitch. I fucked up. I remember that. Another thing I remember is waking up and them reconstructing my teeth. And I woke up that next morning, and then this is kind of when, like, from this moment on, the memory was normal. I woke back up, back from the hospital, a little disoriented. But the next morning when I woke up, I looked in the mirror, and there was, like, cement and a metal bar across my teeth, holding it in there. It was definitely weird, and I kind of didn't know what was happening, but it was coming back to me. I didn't have to stay at the hospital. They let me go this happened around dinner time because my parents said they were at dinner and they rushed to the skate park, and then they went to the hospital, and I left at 2 a.m., so I didn't even have to stay overnight. So it couldn't have been that bad. Moving on to the random shit that I was told that I did, things that I was told. Obviously, I can't remember everything, and I also don't think this angle is going to work out. You probably can't see it now. It's just bright as hell. Moving on to part whatever, and fuck it. Doesn't even matter at this point. How do I turn this down? All right, so now the things that I was told. Obviously told most of the things that took place that day. I was told what trick I did. I was told everything that I broke. I was told all this stuff. But the more interesting things is I was repeating myself on a loop. And my mom said this was the scariest part because I would not snap out of it. She says I was asking the same few questions. I have it written down. She says I kept asking, did I land it? They would say, no, you crashed. And then I would say, I don't crash. The confidence of the 8th grade me, 13-year-old me, whatever, unbelievable. So I kept asking that over and over and over. My mom's like, damn, this is like breaking me down. Like, shut the fuck up. So that was the scariest part. Told I was knocked out. Cold. Did I? Oh, yeah. I got home, and like I said, this was a couple days after Christmas. So I thought I missed Christmas. I was like, oh, shit. I missed the whole holiday. And I kept asking, did I miss Christmas? Did I miss Christmas? Because I'd walk into my room and see a big new TV, like, did I miss it? Did I miss it? Just, asking the same loops over and over. When I finally went back and the employee went up and she was like, that was my first day. You really fucked shit up for me. That was a really shitty day. Thanks a lot. Obviously, she was much nicer about that, but what's the theater in that? Anyway, yeah, she was like, that was my first day. I'll never forget you. And we were friends ever since, except I haven't talked to her in years. All right, final part. Why didn't it stop me from riding BMX? What got me back on the bike? Why didn't it stop me from riding BMX? What got me back on the bike? Alright, I've realized that I don't want to move, so we're finishing the video the same spot. Also, the kicks match the shirt. It's summertime. Bitch, get your tropical shirts out. Apparently, Hawaiian shirts is offensive to Hawaiians, so. Anyway, I could come up with something that's like, oh, I love staring fear in the face and just fucking it like it's my bitch. But that's not the truth. Well, it kind of is the truth. Adrenaline is a drug that I am addicted to. But the truth is, it just didn't scare me, didn't faze me. What's the alternative? I crashed. Shit happens. I'm not dead, I'm alive. I learned from it. Don't do stupid tricks that are outside of my comfort zone that much. Always get out of your comfort zone. I live by that every single day. Do something that freaks you out, a little bit scary. But that was pushing it. I was desperate to learn a new trick, and I really wanted to learn a 540, and I just pushed it, and it just taught me my limits. It taught me, like, hey, I'm tired, I'm worn out, I don't feel it. I had that overall instinct. After that crash, I had the instinct. I was like, if I try this trick right now, I know it's not going to end well. So I just learned from it, and fun fact, we're running out of time. I have, I think a minute left on my SD card. Fun fact, the 4 weeks into the 6 weeks I was supposed to be off my bike, I had a friend over. We went to the basement. I snuck out my bike. I tried doing a couple tricks. I face planted. I had 2 weeks left till I could even ride my bike, and I had to ease into it. I used to have a punching bag, and it fucked it up. So I took it down, and I started kind of hopping over it and doing weird stuff over it. And my back tire kind of, did a little bump jump thing. My bars went between my legs, and I just literally went face plant. Broken nose, everything's still messed up, bad concussion. We're out of time. Subscribe to me and my dad. Fuck, no, I gotta do that. Hold on. All right, I bought us another 48 seconds. That's why you format your memory cards, kids. Anyway, yeah, it didn't stop me because what's the alternative? Stop riding BMX? Hell no, I love it too much. I'm not gonna let that faze me. What if I get in a car crash? Am I gonna stop driving? Fuck no. Nothing you could do about it. Just try to be safe. Anyway, I'm thinking about making another video kind of styled like this, talking about my opinion on being sponsored. I get asked all the time, yo, why aren't you sponsored? Do you want to be sponsored? And people sometimes already know kind of my philosophy on it, and they're really curious. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to talk about my philosophy on being sponsored. Peace out, guys. Pick up some merch. It's still recording, and we're like 5 seconds past the record time.